Hello, my beautiful CPRS warriors. How are you guys feeling today? If you don't have CRPS and you have chronic pain or whatever brought you to this channel, hello. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing today and if there's anything you wish for me to start sharing on this channel. I do have an announcement at the end that I am excited about, and I'm really hoping it takes this channel and something else into a completely different direction, but in a very good way. So I'm here to read another piece of the book, Why Are My Nerves So Sensitive? And I will be putting this in the description below, so you guys can find it on Amazon or wherever else you pick up your books, and therefore you can hopefully read it at your own pace, get some valuable information out of it, whatever floats your boat there. But today is about pacing ourselves, and when I did the I cannot remember the name of this, but it was a sort of physical therapy, but it was also for the mind as well. And it was supposed to be for people to cope with chronic pain. It wasn't necessarily CRPS, but anybody dealing with chronic pain went here, and I did mine online to get help figuring out how to navigate their lives with this newfound thing, chronic pain. So I was very amused by that, because everything they were saying I got from this book. And so it was like, okay, I've tried those, what's next? But I just wanted to come back on here because I feel like, as a mom and a wife and someone who holds themselves responsible for a lot of the housework since everybody else is gone for most of the day, I feel like I need to step it up sometimes. And it's because of this method that I'm going to read through that it actually helps a lot. Now, again, I just want to say that I am not a doctor. I am not a physician of any sorts. I am just somebody experiencing CRPS. And I say that with a smile because if you watch my later episode, like my last episode on here, I spoke a lot about how that wording had really changed and affected the way I view my CRPS. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. But I experienced CRPS, so my only attachment to all of this is somebody who wants to be a resource, somebody to be a sort of person to lean on if you need it, and just somebody to relate to, because let's just face it, CRPS is the biggest pain in the tushy in the world, and we need somebody there in our corner to say, you're having a bad day, sit down, relax, have that bad day, because you will eventually get through it. And we understand those bad days better than anybody else, right? So anyways, back to the book. I am talking about goals, pacing, and graded exposure. I really enjoy this because, like I said, as a busy mom, I do this a lot. So as we go, and I want to remind you, I am not a great reader, so bear with me. Story time! We place this last because it involves many of the treatments or tasks we've discussed. Exercise, movement, touch, use of body parts, and re-engaging in activities has to be paced over time, slowly and steadily exposing yourself, your brain, and your sensitive nerves and tissues to increased activities. And the parts of the stories or parts of this book that I didn't read was about using that meditation that I spoke about, where we basically collect the pain and release the pain. And then I did a short about this, about using new words to explain what's happening. For instance, our body is telling us we are in a survival type mode. So we have to calm ourselves by reminding ourselves that even though we are feeling this excruciating pain, that we are safe. Even though we are experiencing this swelling, this overabundant amount of pressure, this stabbing sensation, that we are safe, that we are no harm, and that we are going to make it. Because if we can calm our minds and calm the stress signals that are basically attacking our body, it can help us go from that major flare-up to a less painful flare-up. So that's something they talked about. They also talk about rewiring your brain in different ways, like looking at magazines and doing these sort of circle activities where you get to look at the magazine and say it's your left leg that's being really painful, that's got CRPS or that's feeling the chronic pain, that you look at pictures and you kind of just point them out and see like, hey, this is it, this is it. And if you guys want, I'll read that section, but I don't know. I found it kind of boring, but if you guys want me to, let me know in the comments. So, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The same goes for running marathons, climbing mountains, or even regaining control over housework, exercise, or sex. However, most people in pain only see the huge mountain in front of them, rather than the small, easy-to-complete steps that are needed to climb it. For example, we recently asked a busy woman about the tasks she'd like to complete. On top of the list was vacuuming her house. The problem she faces is that it vacuums all the rooms. She'll be in pain for the next few days. Once she gathers the strength and energy to face vacuum again, the cycle repeats. Can you imagine the pain, stress, and fear? Can you? I'm telling you, I feel that. I used to go into a spiral because it's like, okay, I know I have to move my leg or it's going to only get worse. But if I move it, then all these other things I may not be able to do later. And then it's like, okay, but if I just do a small section, then it's just going to look like I didn't even clean it. So what's the point? And then, like I said, it spirals. But I'm sure you guys can understand how we become afraid then to even start that task. For me, vacuuming, standing to do dishes were huge, painful obstacles that I had to go to, but something that needed to be done. And standing to do dishes was like, well, if I'm going to start dishes, I might as well finish dishes. What's the point in running water and filling up my sink and stuff if I'm not going to finish them all? So what I started doing is I would do all the, not the pans, I'm sorry. I would do all the plates and the silverware first, and then I'll stop. And if that, like, I just put less water in, right? And then next time I will wash the bowls. Next time I'll wash the cups. But I'm doing it in a way that allows me to sit down if I needed to, or if I just needed to quit because it was too much that day. I no longer wait to have the energy to do the dishes. It's basically a do it anyways kind of thing. And I used to tell myself to suck it up and just do the dishes, even if I was in pain because we needed dishes. And that's no longer the case either. It's like, okay, I am here at a level 3 pain. And if I get to a level 6, because I don't want to overwhelm myself, I'm going to stop doing the dishes. Other people in this book will probably tell you as well, I can't really remember exactly what it says, but they might put a timer on. They know they can stand for 10 minutes before their leg starts hurting. So you put on 8 minutes. You want to stop just before you experience all that pain. And then you continue, and maybe the next week you find out you can handle 10 minutes, and then you'll stop before 12 minutes before you get an excruciating pain. But the idea is to allow yourself to perform an activity before it gets any worse for yourself, but in a way that's in your favor. So let's continue. So here's a better strategy. Count the rooms that need vacuuming. Once you have a number, make a priority list. If you can only vacuum one room, which would it be? That's room A. The next is B, and then C, D, E, etc. Now, based on your pain and your newfound knowledge, determine how much of the room or how many rooms you would be able to vacuum before putting the vacuum away, leaving enough energy remaining to get through the rest of the day. For example, if you think half of a room is your limit, then divide the rooms into A1, A2, B1, B2. Before your eyes, you have an attainable goal of vacuuming your house. Sure, it may take 10 days, but it may be the first time in months or years that you vacuumed. Better yet, you can still get other tasks done with little to no pain. As it is As you get healthier, A1 and A2 are now combined, and now you vacuum the house in 5 days. All tasks can be broken down. Similarly, meals don't have to be cooked in one session. They can steadily be prepared throughout 1 or more days. Not all vegetables need to be cut up at once. Not all laundry has to be done in one session. Not all emails have to be answered in one session, and so forth. Many people in pain have no goals. They may be thinking, how can I set goals if I can barely get up in the morning and get through the day? Many other people in pain have goals, but they are so big that they may seem out of reach and not even worth trying. For example, a goal may be to clean the house. But given all the elements such as washing, dusting, vacuuming, the task is daunting and would no doubt cause pain. Again, any task can be broken down into smaller parts. When making a goal list, consider the following. What do you need to do? Work, cooking, cleaning, etc. Find ways to break down these activities into manageable pieces. For example, your manageable pieces, right? We're all going to be different. For instance, I will only vacuum on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and I break it down. So and I moved into a smaller house, but I only break it down where the living room is my priority room, and so is the kitchen. And then if I can get the living room done because it's so tiny, then I will go to the kitchen and get it done. And if not, that's completely fine. I will wait until Wednesday, and then I will start with the kitchen and then end in my bathroom. And then everybody else is in charge of vacuuming their own rooms, so that helps a lot too. So delegating is also very awesome and a great way to make sure you get your things done that are a priority to you without overwhelming yourself. So make sure you're breaking these things up to make you feel better and not to prioritize your loved ones and things. What would you love to do? Dancing, running a marathon, hosting a Super Bowl party? There is likely no reason you cannot go back to these things. Sure, it will take time, but walking a half mile quickly translates to a mile, followed by running and walking a mile, and in half, and then completing a 5K and so forth. So remember, a goal setting is essential. As you gain knowledge of your pain, empower yourself, get healthier, and sleep better, these tasks will get easier. Dream big, take your time, and keep moving forward, even if the small steps. Now, I do want to point out that they're talking about marathons and things, and some of us have uncurable CRPS or chronic pain that may just never go away. And yes, there is a way for us to build up our stamina. And I always think about before I had CRPS, before I started running cross country, how I had to go to practice and stuff, and you build up the ability to run cross country. So think about yourself as a beginner, right? You are starting a journey here that nobody else has experienced. No matter if they have the same condition or not, this is your experience. So if you can never get to cleaning the whole house in one day, that's fine. You don't have to. If it takes you 4 days to vacuum because you have to do one room at a time, that's completely fine. The only person judging you is sadly yourself. And I know that sounds harsh, but we are our own worst critics. I used to see these posters hanging up all the time saying, oh yeah, you can achieve anything. And it's this person with no legs climbing a mountain. And it's oh, if they can do it, certainly I can do it. And then I remember that their disability is not my disability. Theirs is completely different. And that is okay, because I read this joke once about the similar poster with the person with no legs going up the mountain. And it said something like, these two random people are walking with them. And they're like, oh my gosh, how is he doing it? And then the other person's thinking, my legs are frozen, I'm so cold. And the guy with the amputations, he's thinking oh my God, this is so hard, but this is also so amazing. And so it's everybody else is thinking how cold they are, and all he's thinking about is moving forward. And it's kind of funny, it's because it's well, of course he's able to make it. He only has to worry about moving forward. He doesn't have to worry about freezing his legs off and stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be a joke or not, but like, it made me giggle because it made me think, yeah, of course, these people can run marathons. They're not dealing with the same kind of thing that I am. And it keeps me remembering that we can all experience pain in different ways, and that's completely fine. We never have to compare ourselves to other people. And I say this to my husband all the time because, like, when he starts whining about pain or something, I know I rolled my eyes there, but, like, it's like, I have to remind him that he's allowed to tell me, because he'll often be like, well, I know you're going through something worse. And it's like, no, I'm not. And that's okay that you're experiencing pain. Like, let me help you. And it's like, I'm experiencing pains in different ways than you are. But, you know, I also came up with ways to deal and cope with that pain. Some people with chronic pain, or who do not have chronic pain, are never able to do. And I kind of feel bad for them, because honestly, even if I get a small toothache or something, or feel any other kind of pain anywhere in my body, I use the same tools to regulate myself, and it never seems as painful. And I know that seems weird, but it makes sense to think that our chronic pain can sometimes be a gift, a blessing, because it allows us to explore ourselves even deeper. Because it's like, if I can tolerate this, if I can make it through my life with this, what else is possible for me? And I don't know, for some reason that motivates me into like being more of an extrovert, being able to act super silly in front of people, because I am not afraid. Like, I'm dealing with my worst fear right now, and that's the chronic pain. So anyways, I apologize. I completely went off topic here. The topic is setting goals for yourself, reading that passage from the book, which, like I said, I will put in the description below. So feel free to look on Amazon, purchase a copy for yourself. It has a lot of amazing things inside it. It talks about using a mirror and using mirror images and things. It talks about grids and things, using it to break up the pain. But the important part is the parts I read today, and that is to break down all your tasks. For me, I have to break down my showers as well, because the running water and stuff, anyways, but I break down a lot of things in my life. I break down hanging out with my kids. I break down time with my husband. I break down the clothing I wear, because it's like, okay, I know I have to wear this today. I'll wear it for this long, and then I have to change out of it. But I give myself permission to just allow myself to do those things. I stop feeling guilty because of it. And I think that's the biggest part that we have to get over with somebody with chronic pain, with CRPS, because we put so much pressure on ourselves, right? To be able to still do the things we used to be able to do. And it's like, we can still do them, but it looks different. And I think that's important for us all to learn. And like, don't be afraid to make it look different. Even if that means somebody helps you. Like, I don't shower unless my husband's home, in case I need assistance. Or like getting dressed and stuff like that. It's okay to ask for assistance. Sometimes, to do our best, it takes somebody else's help. So if you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I told you guys I had some big news, and here it goes. I started a Twitch account because one of the ways I cope with my chronic pain is through creative artwork, through sculpting, things like that. Anything to keep my hands busy and my mind going, because I'm a super creative person. So I started a Twitch channel. It's called What a Wonderful Place to Art. It's literally just getting set up, but I'm super excited about it, because my plans for that channel is to start raising money by selling my art, through donations and things, for CRPS Warrior Foundation. And I'm super excited about it, because I'm hoping in that it will help families with CRPS, caretakers learn more about what it's like to have CRPS, pretty much be able to spread more awareness through another platform. And by doing something I love and do a lot of, it gives me something to do to keep my mind busy, and to be honest, lets me look forward to something, since I had to quit my job again. So That's in the next video. I will update you all on that. But I'm super excited. My Twitch handle will be in the comments or in the descriptions as well. And I'm super excited to see you guys there. So tell your friends, tell your families, spread awareness to CRPS. Hang in there, warriors. We got this.